Good evening. Was it a requirement to be ready for the show, or because it's optional on this end? Hang on a second. All right, you're welcome. I'm sure you didn't want to hear that. So anyway, PayPal is the big talk here lately due to a very controversial policy that I assume they rolled it out and then they tried to pull it back. I don't know for sure. There's a lot of talk and speculation on, what it is they were trying to accomplish there. But like I say many times about many things, it really doesn't matter. We can sit there and we could play semantics all day long, and that ain't gonna change a damn thing. This should not be a surprise to anyone. None of this, none of what is going on, to be quite honest, should be a surprise to anyone. Seems I know of a book that writes in relatively decent detail about these times we are in. And let me let you in on a secret. We're not going to go around it. We're going to go through it. There's no way around it. The good news is, at least you have an idea of what it is you're going to go through. That's what I see. Hexafus commented that he removed his account. Now see, I'm going to have a different approach on it. I'm not going to do a damn thing. Why? Because for one, I don't provide misinformation. And if somebody wants to engage me in litigation on whether or not I provided misinformation or not, I think I'm going to have to take that. I got to take them up on that. Abso-freaking-lutely. Why am I not afraid of the big giant corporation? Bank, what have you? Because take a look at how many times Fauci and company, we'll just call it that, Fauci and company, look at how many times that they have been proven and actually had to walk back the things that they said. Now, mind you, anybody that had a monetary loss during that period of time, say for instance YouTube channels that lost income as a result of those policies when they were telling the truth, they've got cause. They've certainly got cause. So I'm not going to play anybody's games with this. As I've said it before, I am not going to let policies, whatever, opinions, whatever. Obviously it depends on what it is. There are some lines, I wouldn't cross. But for the most part, I'll go eat at Chick-fil-A if I want to eat at Chick-fil-A. I'll go eat at Popeyes if I want to eat at Popeyes. I'll eat at Hardee's, McDonald's. I don't eat any of these places. But if I damn well wanted to, I'm going to. I'm not going to sit there and go, well, this company, it's got CEOs that voted this way. I don't care. I don't care. Is me eating that chicken sandwich a direct evil act that I am committing? Or am I just eating a chicken sandwich? Because I'm pretty sure I'm just eating a damn chicken sandwich. So I'm going to worry about the important things. Following around these corporations and holding them up as idols is not following his plan. So just as much as I'm not going to go follow behind Mike Lindell, I'm not going to write off PayPal, Starbucks, Walmart, whatever, right? Because things go the other way, too. Look at Hobby Lobby. Well, and Chick-fil-A I brought up. I mean, that's conservative-based business. Hobby Lobby. Conservative, Christian-based business. In fact, I've seen people throwing a fit here lately because they don't have Halloween stuff at Hobby Lobby. Because how dare somebody take it upon their independent liberty to run a business of their own how they see fit? That's not encroaching. I don't know. Do you think that's discriminatory that they don't sell Halloween stuff? I mean, you might be able to get the SPLC to get behind that. I mean, they're pretty whacked out, but, you know, really? So, I don't let stuff like that define me. But again, we can play these semantics and debate this stuff to the end of time. Literally, figuratively. And it doesn't matter. What matters is in the end, there is not going to be a way to buy and sell. Not if you're on our team. I'm pretty sure all of you are on our team. There's not going to be a way to buy or sell unless you give into the system. So all of the stuff with PayPal, same as with all the stuff with the credit card processors and the new code for gun-related sales, right? All this stuff is coming. And you can boycott it all you want. But just remember, you're cutting yourself off early. And I'm just saying, be careful not to completely cut yourself off. Hopefully we still have a little bit of time to keep getting ready. We couldn't function without PayPal. We would really have to do some changing and rearranging and maneuvering, and that's not what would prevent me from doing it if I had just cause to do that. But you know what? I don't spread misinformation. I don't. Period. Everything that comes out of my mouth, I do what I can to verify. I don't just loosely throw things out there. It's not what I do. It's not me. Why? Because I'm responsible for my words. The correct ones and the incorrect ones. So I'm trying to keep the incorrect ones as much at a minimum as I can, because that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm not in any competition with anybody for anything. I'm just doing what he wants me to do. And I'm going to do my best to continue to do what he wants me to do until he sees fit to call me home. And that's just all it amounts to. He hasn't asked me to go to battle with PayPal or Visa or MasterCard or any of them. So, there's that. I would suggest people just keep on keeping on, however it is that you keep on, until such a time when you can't. You probably need to ask yourself the question, do I face risking a fine are to be accused in that level, in that manner, in that level of misinformation. Because let me tell you what, they're not talking about sharing a meme that, like, Facebook would fact check you on. Believe me, if this nation were at that point, if this nation were at a level where you could get a $2,500 fine for sharing a meme on social media that happened to have incorrect info, or what they claim to be incorrect information, let me say it that way, that's much easier said than done, yo. How many people do you think that they would have to round up before people just lost it? Now, personally, I would hope not many. But I don't think, I guarantee it's going to be a whole hell of a lot more than I personally would like it to be. You see that first one go, let's do it. But I think at some point, I think the people of this nation would stand up and say enough. I don't know. Look at how many J6 people we have locked up behind bars right now, many of which didn't do anything more than like a basic tour of the facility. They didn't go up into anybody's chambers. They weren't tearing anything up. They stayed within the roped off areas. They basically walked through like they would if they were a tour. How many of those people are still sitting behind bars today? But that's because we allow it, and nothing else. It's because we allow it. You can't say that. My God, you have people talking about January 6th. That's how they got you. Because they got you afraid to speak. They got you afraid to think. You gotta pick one. I mean, you're on our team whether you like it or not, because you don't got a choice. So you can either stand or you can lay down. But whether or not you keep your PayPal account isn't going to make a damn bit of difference in that. I'm just saying. Not going to make a damn bit of difference. If you need PayPal to function, continue to use it. If you're not out there saying crazy crap, absolutely mind-blowingly crazy crap, and making money from it through PayPal, you have no reason to worry. I'm pretty sure that when PayPal made their policy thing that they weren't talking about in all of the world, I'm pretty sure that what they were talking about, and I'm not making any excuses for them because there is no excuse for this, but like, let's take Alex Jones, for instance, and the whole Sandy Hook thing and the lawsuit and all of that stuff. Okay, well, if he would have made all that money through PayPal for what went on with that, they could have nipped it in the bud. Now, again, I'm not in agreement with that. I'm not defending them. I'm not saying they should be able to do that. I'm just explaining to you what it is they were after. They weren't after you sharing a meme on Facebook. That is the fearmongers talking. And there's a whole lot of them running around. Boy, they've got some boogeymen like you wouldn't believe right now, don't they? Holy cow. They got the PayPal boogeyman going. They've got the nuclear war boogeyman going. Got a lot of boogeyman going right now. That's hard to keep up. Don't let it put you in a mental state of fear or anything. Just keep at it, There's a song that I guess it's been used quite a bit in videos and stuff like that. It's one of those copyright-free songs. And I got a copy of it the other day. And you want to talk about the worst song on this planet to get out of your head. And I'm going to make a video for it. But I played it earlier. Our friend Vi was here, and I played it earlier. And I just let myself go. How does this song... There are no words. How does this music make me feel? And progressive is one word that immediately came to mind. And when I say that, I don't mean in a liberal way no. Progressive is in moving forward, okay? Moving forward. But the other two words were motivating and organized. And so I think I'm going to make a video related to prepping with that music. And hopefully the video that I make will portray... The last time that I had any type of a video inspiration like this was when I did the intro for the show in 2014. I don't like video editing. I hate it. I loathe it. So if I'm actually inspired that I want to sit there and put bamboo shoots under my fingernails, yeah, I think I'm going to. In fact, I got to torture you guys just for a second. I got to torture you. You're getting tortured. That's it. Oh, you gotta wait till it changes a little bit. I'm telling you, you can expect it, man. I'm serious. I don't know. I cannot get that damn thing out of my head. It's horrible. Horrible. Send me a shrink. Anyway. I am going to be making a video on that. Let's see. Do I have anything more to say about PayPal? Not really. Let's see. Let me see where our poll is. Oh, we got 6 votes on our poll. 83% said yes, they'll stop using PayPal due to what all went on. And 17% said that they had already gotten rid of them. So, interesting. And that's pretty much along the lines of what I figured. There's a lot of people that use other forms for other reasons, I know Cash App, Venmo, stuff like that are very popular. I am older, kind of stuck in my ways, and I don't know. PayPal does everything we need it to do and has always treated us good. Personally, has treated us incredible. In fact, I don't have a complaint. Personally, don't have a complaint whatsoever. They've been remarkable with us. And we've been responsible as a customer. We've been responsible. That's kind of the way it works. It's just kind of one of those things. I don't agree with what they did. Period. But there's a lot of stuff that I don't agree with, right? And if I was going to use issues like that to disagree with a company on a level of not doing business with them, I don't know where the hell I'd be getting anything from. It sure in the hell wouldn't be Walmart or Amazon, I can tell you that. If if I was going to use morals and principles as a reason not to use a corporation, I wouldn't be touching Amazon or Walmart. It is what it is. We can't do nothing about that. You know, that's why the good book talks about the love of money. Not money itself. I mean, you have to deal with money. You have to exchange money to be able to live. That's the part of life. But the moment you fall in love with it, the moment that you make that the most important thing, that's where the problem is. Anywho. Not Bible study. Let's see. There was an article that a friend that was over earlier had brought to my attention. She'd seen it on her phone, and I was like, "Eh?" Amazon again is being sued. And by the way, I didn't intend that segue into this whatsoever. I didn't even think about that. But, once again, they're being sued, and I find myself in a position to where I have to stand up for them. Because once again, how are they at fault? The first time that I stood up, for those that may not know or don't remember, was when the tornado hit the Amazon warehouse or distribution center that's about a 20-25 minute drive away from here, in which some employees unfortunately lost their lives. And, you know, of course, Amazon got sued because their building got directly hit by a tornado? Question mark. You know, Amazon didn't do anything that caused that. And I guarantee you that a hell of an argument can be made as to what those employees were doing at that time. I think, and it's my opinion and I have that right, I think they were being defiant to management. Why? Because I've worked both positions. I've been in management and I've been the shithead. So I know. The storm shelter at that Amazon building was in a bathroom in the center of the building. Makes sense, right? Well, I think, and I'm allowed to have this opinion, I think that they thought they were being smart by saying, oh, we have to go to the bathroom in case of a tornado. Well, let's go to this bathroom. And I think that they went to the bathroom in the back of the store being defiant to management, because prior to that moment to go into that bathroom, they were all denied permission to go home. Not all, but more than one of them. I think like at least 3 of them had asked if they could go home, in which management said, no, go to the storm shelter, go to the bathroom. And I think what they did, screw you, and we're going to the bathroom, and they went to the bathroom in the back of the store. I think that's my opinion. Like I say, I've been both sides of that. That's my opinion. And, unfortunately, they lost their lives as a result. Hey, it happens. It's the way it is. However, this article is just as crazy as a tornado hitting a building and somehow Amazon being responsible. I mean, actually, yeah, I guess this would be more so, but you'll see. I'm trying to find my... Here it is. Parents' lawsuit accuses Amazon of selling suicide kits to teenagers. Now, why don't you think about that? I want you to think about the word kit. Because when I buy a kit, I typically think of making a purchase and then having everything I need to make something or build something or whatever. That's a kit. Or at least multiple components to build something. A kit. That's not what this is about. Amazon is facing a lawsuit accusing it of selling so-called suicide kits brought by the families of two teenagers who bought a deadly chemical on the company's website and later used it to take their own lives. The parents of 16-year-old Christine Johnson, and I'm sure I'm probably saying that wrong, of Ohio, and the parents of 17-year-old Ethan McCarthy of West Virginia say the retail giant assisted in the deaths of the two minors by selling them sodium nitrate, a food preservative that is fatal at high levels of purity. Well, come on now. How many things can we readily get our hands on that are fatal at high levels? How many cleaners? Think of the cleaners alone. Holy cow. How much toilet bowl cleaner do you think it would take to take you out? Probably not a whole lot, huh? Might suck, but I mean, I'm just being real, right? This wouldn't be good. This ain't a good way to go. Not from what I've read. So we're not talking about smart. Because, in my opinion, you're going to take yourself out. You do it in a way that you don't suffer. But I digress. Article goes on to say the complaint filed in California, figures, right? State court in September claims Amazon recommended that customers who purchase the chemical also buy a scale to measure the correct dose, an anti-vomiting drug, and Amazon's edition of a handbook on assisted suicide. Okay. But they didn't buy everything together, right? So, just because they recommend you buy a scale so you could correctly measure it, that's all of a sudden now a kit? At what point do we say, wait a minute, we're mad, we don't want to take responsibility for what happened, we just want to blame somebody else, and somehow we can make a bunch of money and blame somebody else at the same time. I think it's disgusting. I couldn't tell you the amount of times in my life that I could have sued somebody or some company and gotten a hell of a check. I could have sued the city here and gotten a hell of a paycheck. Hell of a paycheck. I'm not interested. I didn't earn that money. Anyway. Something about ethics and morals and integrity. I don't know. Anyway, it goes on to say, and this is a quote, Amazon is selling a product that is deadly as cyanide. Carrie Goldberg and Naomi Leeds, two attorneys for the families from the firm C.A. Goldberg PLLC, said in a statement. This is different from them selling rope, knives, and other implements that can be used for death because there is no household use for sodium nitrate at the level of purity, that is 98 to 99%. It sells it, they added. Why not? See, here's this thing. There are some people They like the ability to do things, right? Whatever it may be. And you know what? As long as they aren't hurting anybody, causing any harm or anything like that, they damn well have the right to do those things. Me, for instance. You guys know I vape. And, I buy my nicotine base at 100 milligrams per milliliter. That's what strength I buy it at. And that is the common high strength that you'll find for the DIY juice makers out there. But that's not 100%. That 100 milligrams per milliliter is actually 10%. That's right, 10%. That actual nicotine base straight is 1,000 milligrams per milliliter, and that is some very, very dangerous stuff. Very dangerous. You don't want to inhale the vapor from it. It could kill you. It's no joke. You don't want to get it on your skin. It can kill you. That's no joke. You have to be very, very, very careful when using that. They recommend a ventilation hood, that you have a ventilation hood, that you are in a hood, not a KKK hood. I don't know what you're thinking. No, a respirator, whatever, a rebreather, whatever the hell they call them. You are recommended to wear all that kind of equipment. Well, see, when I did my airplane, I know I'm jumping around, but back when I had my airplane, I had a 1984 American Aerolights Falcon, and it needed some paint work done on it before it was finished. So I painted it with what they call aerothane, and it is a very, very, very toxic, whatever you want to call it, paint. And they don't recommend just putting on a respirator. No. You're supposed to have clean air something. I don't know. I'm not in that line of work, but it's clean air. You're supposed to be pulling clean air from somewhere outside of where you're doing the work and drawing it into your mask, right? You're not supposed to be rebreathing at any point whatsoever. So did I say, oh no, I can't do my wings because, of this, and I don't have all this fancy equipment and all that? No. What did I do? I got as many fans as I could get together, opened up the garage doors somewhat. The big garage door opened it up a little bit. The back door opened it up, put fans in that, put fans in the garage window, stuff like that. Made sure that there was a hell of a lot of airflow coming through there. I wasn't worried if I got a little bit of dust on it. I wasn't trying to do a showroom piece. I was just trying to get my plane painted so I could go flying. So anyway, I went ahead and went about my business, right? And if I would ever need to do that with nicotine, I don't mean going through all that just to work with it, but I mean, I understand what it is to work with dangerous things. I've done it much of my life. I've always worked with dangerous stuff. And I know how to respect chemicals, and I'm very respectful, and I'm actually fearful. And I'm not in a way as in, oh, I'm scared, I don't want to. No, but I'm in a respectful way, I am fearful of chemicals. Hey, I've had my lungs burned. I know what that's about. I've had little chemical burns on my skin and stuff like that. Why? Because I've worked in a bunch of fields where I've had to mess with dangerous stuff. That's just been a part of my life. So if I had to work, or I needed to work with 1,000 milligram per milliliter full strength nicotine base, I don't sweat it. Not even a little bit. I'm just going to take proper precautions. I don't have all the fancy equipment, but I can damn well do the same thing with fans and what have you, just to be able to say, get a little out and mix 90% of other base with it, right? And I don't think, well, I know it took me forever to get to this point of saying this, but I don't think that they should be able to prevent me from buying that straight-based nicotine, that 1,000 milligram per milliliter. Just as much as I don't think that they should be able to prevent either myself or you from buying a pure form of sodium nitrate. Why? I don't know. I don't use it. Maybe you do. Maybe you got a use for it. You know what? If you decide to take it directly to kill yourself, ain't nobody's fault but your own. You made that decision. Nobody else did. Nobody put that spoon in your hand. Nobody put the powder in the spoon. Nobody put the spoon in their mouth, in your mouth. If they did, that's murder. That's a different story. We're not talking about that. We're talking about self-accountability for individuals who decide that they want to take their own lives. And while it's not a pleasant thing and there's no easy way to approach such subjects, because it is what it is. It sucks. It sucks. But this isn't Amazon's fault. Why did they want to kill themselves? Can we talk about that? Because seems to me if somebody wanted to prevent what happened, it wouldn't be prevent them from buying the chemicals. It would prevent them from being in the state of mind to make them want to kill themselves to begin with. Oh, then if I own up to that, that means, holy shit. You mean I could be partly responsible? Meaning the people in their lives around them? There's one thing that I love to hear at the end of a particular YouTube channel. And almost every single one of his videos, he says it. Once in a while, he'll make one where he doesn't say it, and I catch it. I don't say anything. It is what it is. But at the end of every video, for the most part, from Mayhem Country Living, he says, take care of your people. Well, I can't say it like he says it. It almost sounds like he says, take care of you people. But he's actually saying, take care of your people. Take care of the people around you. If anybody wanted to prevent what happened to these two individuals, it was those people that are around them in their daily lives. Not Amazon. Man, we had somebody make a post in our little town group the other day, and it was kind of like a how-to video, how to basically check your drugs for whether or not it's got fentanyl on it for cheap, right? And it's something to do with test strips or whatever. I'm not going to get into it in any way, shape, or form because I'm not giving any kind of advice. I'm not nothing because I can't here on this platform. However, actually it was a video, a YouTube video. That what the link was actually a YouTube video where somebody was telling you how you could do this. I'm not the cat that's going to do that, though. Disclaimers. They work. But, you know, a lot of the administrators of group pages, especially community pages like ours, would have probably deleted that post. Oh, that's encouraging drug use. Is it? Really? Because I don't see how it's encouraging the drug use. I see it as educating individuals that are involved in the drug use of a very cheap way they can make sure that they don't have a spike stash, which is killing people in droves right now. I'm good with that. His post remained, and I even made a comment under it as to such, why I let it go. And it's because we can't get ahead of any of this stuff by shoving stuff under the rug. And when it comes to the overdose thing, I've seen it time and time and time again. People will overdose, and it's a very unfortunate, very ugly thing. But nobody around them will talk about it. Nobody will say a word about what happened. Nobody. I don't understand it. I thought we care about these people. We know what's killing them. It's not a secret. So why are we just turning our head while our so-called loved ones fall? I don't get it. I do not get it. Do not. I know that if I had somebody that was that close to me and they were struggling like that with a substance, I'd be all over it. I have a very, very addictive personality. And I know that, which is why I'm very careful. I don't drink. I don't do hard drugs. The drugs that I partake in are the common drugs of nicotine, caffeine, and the not quite so common THC. That's it. I don't even drink alcohol. I don't know. That's crazy, though. And it's unfortunate that anybody loses their lives. I mean, I'm not downplaying any of that. I just think we'd be much better served if we focused on how to, focused on something that would deal with the issue before it happened than, making sure Amazon doesn't sell sodium nitrate at full purity. Well, that'll stop people from doing that. Really? It's going to stop people from finding something else to do it with? Okay. I reckon we're shifting gears. I don't know. I'm just here, man. I don't know. My head's all over in that other area we were just talking about. Now I gotta go to Ukraine? Damn it, man. Alright. So, hell, my mind, by the way, is still marching to that theme. I'm telling you, you guys are gonna put a hit out on me when I put that video out. Could it be like the song that never ends? Trust me, the ideas I've got in my head are classic. So, let me go ahead and read the first beginning of this, and then I'll kind of go from there. I didn't really know how I was going to work this in, but as you see the headline say, Ukraine blows up border bridges with Belarus, says Minsk. It says Ukrainian forces have destroyed almost all bridges and mined the roads along the border with Belarus. Anatoly Lapo, chairman of the State Border Committee of Belarus, said on Sunday. Minsk has accused Kiev of planning imminent strikes on its territory. Today, almost all border bridges have been blown up and automobile and railway border routes are completely mined, Lapo told Belarusian TV, according to Russia's Interfax news agency. Ukrainian forces have fortified the border to the extent that they put anti-tank mines in 3 rows on the roads, Lapo said. The troops Kiev has sent to the border are not border guards, Lapo claimed. We are under pressure. They are aiming at our border guards. Sometimes they shoot in the air. Constant aerial reconnaissance is being carried out, he added. A day before the news broke, Ukraine's foreign ministry claimed that its ambassador to Belarus was summoned to the Belarusian foreign ministry and handed an official note saying that Ukraine is planning to conduct a strike on the territory of Belarus. The Ukrainian foreign ministry said that it categorically rejects the accusation, adding that it could be part of a Russian plan to stage a provocation and further accuse Kiev. So, here's the thing. Right? It's not being debated whether or not they're doing this, whether or not they're mining these roads and all this, whether or not they're destroying these bridges. That's not even in debate. They're clearly doing it. So, who else are we going to think did the big bridge, the Kherson Bridge? There's a reason why you do this stuff. You do this stuff to cut off your supply line. Well, not your supply line, but your enemy's supply line. That's why you do this. And that's what Ukraine is trying to do. They're trying to cut off Russia's supply line. This strategy is all that's going on here. It's war. It's war. The only reason why I even bring this up is because for some stupid reason Ukraine still hasn't came forward and claimed the Kherson Bridge. And it makes no sense to me why they didn't do that. It just makes no sense. There's so much propaganda, head games, and PS going on all over this entire situation. It's just really kind of hard to keep, But that's part of it. That's part of the intent of all of this, is to keep us confused. So anyway, Putin said Ukraine behind terrorist attack on Crimean Bridge. Of course, I really didn't expect they were going to think anybody else did it anyway. However, the article says Ukrainian intelligence is behind the deadly attack on the Crimean Bridge, Russian President Vladimir Putin said on Sunday following a report by the head of the National Investigative Committee, Alexander Bastrikin. The attack was organized by the Ukrainian security services, which were aided by some Russian and foreign nationals, according to Bastrikin. And again, I don't know if that's how you say his name or not. I could just call him Bastard. The investigative committee had also said that Federal Security Service, FSB, had identified suspects in the blast. The attack on the bridge was aimed at Russia's critical infrastructure, the bastard said, adding that I couldn't resist, adding that it was an act of terrorism. According to the bastard, the truck that exploded on the bridge arrived in Russia from Bulgaria through Georgia and Armenia. So as you just reported, there is no doubt, Putin said, it was ordered, planned, and carried out by the Ukrainian security services. The Ukrainian security services, as well as citizens of Russia and foreign countries who helped organize this terror attack, Bastrikin clarified. The attack, which took place earlier on Saturday, saw a truck exploding on the Crimean Bridge. A part of the highway bridge collapsed in the blast, and 7 fuel tanks on a train heading towards Crimea through a nearby railway bridge caught fire. At least 3 people were killed in the incident. The explosion led to a temporary halt of both road and railway traffic, although both had resumed by Saturday evening. Ukraine stopped short of taking responsibility for the attack, although it was celebrated on social media by the country's security service and defense ministry. Again, why they don't just admit to doing it, I don't, it's games. I mean, what gets me is if they admitted to doing it, it's called war. right? It's just called war. It's part of war. But in my opinion, if they don't claim it, isn't it terrorism? I mean, I'm pretty sure that kind of makes a difference if you try to act like some crazy people are just running around blowing up bridges and stuff. I mean, think of the mental toll that would have on Americans. I don't know. One of the big bridges in New York gets blown up or something. I mean, I would think that that would kind of have an effect on people's psyche. And if we were at war with a nation and that bridge blew up, we would say, well, we're at war. But when bridges just blow up and nobody claims it, it's a little more like terrorism to me. Anyway. I don't know where all that's going to go. Nobody does. It's not looking good, I know that. I don't know. I really don't. That's a pretty... Out of all of our situations we have going on, that particular situation, the one involving the tensions between many nations at this current time, probably the biggest one we need to have on our radar. That being said, you're not going to be able to change anything that's going on, so just use it to motivate you to continue to getting ready, to doing the things that you need to do. But it's looking pretty ugly, to be real honest. And while Biden certainly isn't helping anything, I don't know anyone that really could. Especially now that we're here in this particular position. It's crazy. And this here plays right into all of it. U.S. breaks record for EU gas supplies. And I normally don't read the little blip right under the headline because it's repeated later on, but it says here, for the first time, America is supplying more natural gas to the bloc than Russia, but the cost is 10 times higher. Can you imagine that? Your heating bill to go up 10 times? Well, here in the United States, you're going to get the opportunity to at least pay a couple more times what you're used to. And unfortunately, part of that price hike is going to help pay to transport this LNG over to the EU. So I hope that they're thanking you for that. I'm sure that the companies involved in the sales of the LNG are thanking you. All the way to the bank, they're thanking you. This stuff just gets me. And that's why I don't understand why anybody would shill for big oil. Why are we trying to keep these people in power? Most of the misinformation about alternative energy out there is provided by big oil. Like going and asking the car salesman if he thinks you need to buy the car. Duh. Like going to a lawyer and asking them if they think you need legal representation. Duh. Never trust a salesman. That's the first thing you do. The moment that you realize that you're talking to somebody that profits from a particular area of life, at that point in time, you need to close your ears to anything they have to say because they are trying to sell you something. A lot of people conned into doing a whole lot of crap just because they listen to the people that profit. Anyway, I digress. It says the United States ramped up its supply of liquefied natural gas to Europe in September. Reuters reported this week, citing tracking data by Refinitiv Econ. However, exports were below average overall for the first 8 months of 2022 due to an outage at a major LNG terminal. U.S. LNG production has been lagging behind full capacity since a fire in June brought it to a halt at the Freeport terminal, which is the second largest liquefaction facility in the United States, accounting for a fifth of all U.S. LNG exports prior to the incident. Meanwhile, demand and prices for LNG are rising as energy-starved European buyers seek alternatives to Russian gas. For the first time, Europe has superseded Asia as the biggest destination for U.S. liquefied natural gas. In September, 87 shipments carrying 6.3 million tons headed to Europe, slightly exceeding August volumes of 6.25 million tons, according to the tanker tracking data. That brings U.S. LNG exports to Europe to nearly 70% in September, up from 56% and 63% in August and July, respectively. According to previous reports by the U.S. Energy Information Administration, the country sent almost 3/4 of all of its liquefied natural gas to Europe in the first 4 months of 2022. The increase means the U.S. now accounts for nearly half of the bloc's LNG imports, about twice the share seen in 2021. But experts say that even though U.S. LNG exports helped fill European gas stores ahead of schedule, the bill was 10 times higher than the historical average cost of filling up tanks for winter. Increased shipments of super-chilled fuel to the EU also left fewer cargoes for Asia, Latin America, and the Caribbean last month. And that situation is going to get even worse because that's what a lot of this stuff that goes on in this world is boiled down to greed. That's what we've got. We got a bunch of individuals fighting over who can keep these nations on their teeth. And the United States and NATO is trying to get the EU, they're trying to force the EU and the UK off of Russia's teeth onto our teeth. This isn't about the EU and the UK becoming energy independent. Oh no. This is merely about who it is that's providing them the energy. We don't want them to be energy independent. We want them to be dependent on us. And that's a whole big damn part of what's going on with all this nonsense. Russia and China are nations that are coming out of the gate with force. And I'm talking about as far as, economic Just you can sit there and tell me about how this nation's so much in debt and that nation's so much in debt and this, that, and the other thing, and I'm just going to look at you and shake my damn head because all those numbers you gave me were made up by men. They don't even exist in reality. They're just numbers with values made up by men. That's a fact. It's control is what it is. They use money to manipulate and control. That's its only purpose. And that's what it is. You boil it down, that's the only purpose of money, to manipulate and control. If there was no money, if there was no currency, if there was no banks, if it was you just trading your damn eggs for somebody's lettuce, then it's just you trading your damned eggs for somebody's lettuce. But there's no middleman that can make a shit ton of money, pardon the language there, for doing nothing other than being a middleman between the eggs and the lettuce. We need to cut out that middleman. We need to just stop. But we need a large amount of people in the country to do it together. And just stop. Work with one another, get organized, make sure we could get our daily needs all taken care of through each other. And then just stop. Just totally stop participating in their system. But it would take great sacrifice and hard work, which is why I'm not holding my breath and doing the best I can to get prepared. Again, if I thought we could do it, it would be in the good book that we could do it. But there's no mention of that we could even possibly turn this stuff around. We're not supposed to turn it around. We're just supposed to go through it. We're supposed to make it through it. See anything about taking shortcuts around it. Although some have dreamed up some fantasy of being swept up away right before it. So, I don't know. Anyway, shifting gears to Italy. Italy's Ministry of Ecological Transition this week signed off on a new energy-saving decree introducing tighter limits and restrictions for the use of gas heating over the winter. According to the ministry's statement, the daily operating period in the country will be reduced by 1 hour a day, whereas the overall winter heating season will be shortened by 15 days, postponing the switch-on date by 8 days and bringing the switch-off forward by 7. The decree will also tighten the cap on indoor temperature values, with businesses being asked not to exceed 18 degrees Celsius, down from 19 degrees Celsius, and private citizens having to set their heating at a maximum of 19 degrees Celsius, down from 20 degrees Celsius. The new restrictions will not apply to places of worship, nurseries, kindergartens, and swimming pools, nor to buildings whose heating systems rely on sources of renewable energy, the ministry said. You know, I just want to interject with something here real quick. A number on a thermostat doesn't mean a damn thing if you don't consider the home that thermostat is in. What I'm getting at is if you live in a poorly insulated, very drafty home, you're probably going to have to turn your thermostat up higher than you normally would if it wasn't so drafty or a little more insulated, just to be able to make up for the lack of insulation, to make up for the cool air coming through. So everybody's 19 degrees Celsius thermostat isn't equal, if you know what I'm saying. I just kind of wanted to point that out. The interesting thing is there is a big group of people, and I don't know all the ins and outs of it, so I'm not even going to pretend to, but some energy freaks over there across the pond that's been doing all these different, events or whatever, and I'm calling them freaks. I'm not really honestly saying that with any disrespect, believe it or not. It's just they're energy freaks. Hey, you can call me a Jesus freak if you want. That's fine. It is what it is. They're energy freaks. And they've been, stopping roadways and doing all this stuff. Well, what I do know about them is that they're really pushing for the weatherization of homes. Now, that I do know that they're trying to do. And that's their big thing. That's their push. They want the government to get involved and help with the weatherization of homes. We actually have many programs here in the United States that do those kinds of things. And so that's kind of what they're after. But, yeah, I mean, if you're going to put these kinds of restrictions on your peoples, then why don't you help everybody out and make sure that people's homes are taken care of as far as, if they need plastic on the windows, even the stuff like that. Plastic on the windows, making sure that the doors are sealing okay, and deal with them if they are not. Just the common places for leaks and whatnot in homes. They need to be approaching this from just more than a rule based perspective. They're kind of almost approaching this like they did the COVID thing. They just want to make rules. They don't want to actually do anything to help. They just want to make rules and make people listen to what they say. Anyway, the new restrictions will not apply. Oh, I already covered that one. It added that in the event of particularly severe weather conditions, local authorities will retain the power to authorize heating outside the times set in the decree. Isn't that nice? According to a study by National Power Regulator, ENEA, cited by the local Italy, the new restrictions might allow the country to save as much as 2.7 billion cubic meters of gas over the winter season. The new energy-saving plan follows a series of nationwide measures aimed at tackling the energy crisis in the country. Italy, along with other EU countries, has been battling record-high inflation driven... Well, I'm not going to go into all... We've read this stuff a million times. We've talked about it, so... And it just dawned on me when I did the headlines, I didn't get all 3 days from Friday. I just... scroll down I just scrolled down to the days. I'm just going to read the days. Hell with it. You know what happened over the last 2 days, Friday and Saturday. So, hang on, no. One moment. Momento. No, I don't know Spanish or any other language. I know about enough to get my ass kicked. That's about it. The important stuff. E-cig popped on me. I've been shot. Alright. I actually read those two there. Unthinkable number of mercenaries gathered in Zaporozhye, says authorities. Trump calls for immediate Ukraine peace talks. U.S. hits out at OPEC over unwise decision. I'm sure OPEC doesn't care. Belarus accuses Ukraine of planning attack. Russia ready to help poor nations battle hunger, says Putin. Soldiers sent to border between two EU countries. U.S. lawmakers want to punish Saudi Arabia and UAE. That ain't ever going to happen. China aims to unravel the sun's secrets. You can start with it's hot and then maybe follow up with it's bright. Those two things, get on it. Russian MP proposes state agency to combat loneliness. That's what we need. We need a ministry of loneliness. That's it. Russia to take over major oil project. German army has ammo for only 2 days of war, says the media. That's not good, homie. U.S. takes aim at China's chip industry. Ukraine behind... Oh, I read that article. Kanye West declares war on Jewish people. So, I guess... I don't know what kind of war he's talking about. I don't know if he's, starting to get armor and building up his ammunition stockpiles. And I don't know if he's going to go to war with all of the Jewish people at once, or I don't know. But apparently he declared war. Most Brits anxious ahead of work week, says a poll. Yeah, I'm pretty sure most humans are anxious ahead of their work week. U.S. approves sale of top-notch missiles to Middle Eastern ally. Court to rule on Scottish independence vote timing. Assange supporters surround UK Parliament. Germany gives update on high-tech arms for Ukraine, says media. Truss is the least popular UK PM in history, says a poll. Hey, we got something we can share with them. Very highly unpopular leaders. Study makes claim on how the moon emerged. I don't know, somebody pulled their pants down and bent over. No indication Russia will use nukes, says the White House. EU enthusiasm for sanctions on Moscow declines, says member state. Ukraine behind terrorist attack on Crimean bridge, says Putin. Oh, I read that article. Ukrainian's army commander-in-chief poses in swastika bracelet. I've said it a million times. Ukraine is a neo-Nazi country. They are Nazis. They are Nazis as in Hitler. Hitler, Nazis. It's a Nazi country. I don't get why people are defending them. I don't get it. They're Nazis. And I'm not saying that every single person, every human being that lives in Ukraine is a Nazi and a bad person and needs to die because of the... No. The government is Nazi. Get rid of the government. Not talking about the people. Humans are humans. We all need to be respected and at least have a damn chance. But I cannot defend the Ukrainian government at all. I'm not defending Putin and Russia. I don't have to pick one. I don't get that. I don't have to pick one. I pick neither. Let's see. Mass protests against NATO and EU hit Paris streets. Top medical center pauses trans surgeries on kids. Insane. Ukraine blows up border bridges with Belarus, says Minsk. Actually, I covered that one. Identities of Crimean bridge blast revealed, said the victims, that is, says media. White House changes drone strike policy. A notorious Ukrainian diplomat lashes out after uncomfortable question. Europe to feel impact of energy crisis for decades, says the Kremlin. And that's it. That is it. Now, I looked down and saw there was like almost a quarter after already. I'm like, oh, I'm not going to roll all the way back and do all the headlines from Friday. Friday, there was quite a few. Yesterday, I think, was kind of hefty on the headlines as well. So, today, not so much. Actually, a pretty quiet day. Went in, did a little bit of flying with Charles in the simulator. We were flying a bush flight in Nevada today. For a little while. We didn't fly for a real long time. Got to do beta testing tomorrow. So, today was kind of cool. I wasn't going to go out and freeze my butt off. So, get out there tomorrow. Reconvene testing. And go from there. But I got a bunches of stuff that I have to get busy on. Of course, the beta testing stuff, I'm going to be doing that for a little bit. But I've already mentioned that I need to get the thing for that heater finished up, the part that goes in the window. I need to get that finished up, make a video of finishing that up, and get it done. And I still got to get the Anderson connector on my bike. I need to get that done and out of the way before it gets cold. No reason waiting for it to get cold and crappy out before I do it, you know? So I need to get those things done. A few other minor things I need to get on the ball and get going. Such is life, right? Anyway. But it is nice to take a break and step back and go flying with Charles, and it's just I don't know how to explain it. I mean, I guess it's just like going to my happy place. I don't have many happy places I can go to, and that's one for sure. So anyway, I am gonna get out of here for tonight. God willing, we'll be back tomorrow and do it again. I appreciate everybody coming. Hope to see you tomorrow. And as always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit. And shalom.